Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. New Democrat public safety critic Jenny Kwan is demanding that the Canadian government release the full text of a policing agreement between the RCMP and China's Ministry of Public Security. In an open letter, Kwan urged Public Safety Minister Gary Andon-Dasengari and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Andon to disclose the Memorandum of Understanding. She raised significant concerns about the lack of transparency, questioning whether adequate safeguards are in place to prevent Canadian information from being used against dissidents, human rights defenders, journalists, or diaspora communities facing transnational repression by Beijing. Public Safety Canada has stated that such agreements require confidentiality but outlined areas of collaboration, including transnational crime, cybercrime, narcotics, and corruption. The department affirmed that all cooperation adheres to Canadian laws, international conventions, and internal policies, guided by principles of sovereignty, equality, and mutual benefit, and does not create legally enforceable obligations. Kwan, however, insists that fighting crime must not compromise transparency, public trust, or the safety of vulnerable communities. She called for a public explanation of all oversight and accountability mechanisms, a parliamentary briefing, and consultations with affected diaspora communities. This report is from the Canadian Press. Members of British Columbia's Nurses Union have voted overwhelmingly, with 98.2% in favor of strike action, as reported by the Canadian Press. Union President Adrian Gear warned of a potential labor dispute during the upcoming FIFA World Cup, which Vancouver is set to co-host starting next month. Gear stated that 6 months of negotiations with the Health Employers Association of BC had been super frustrating, with little progress on 140 proposed items. She highlighted the union's demand for compensation and funding levels comparable to other public sector contracts, which would unlock approximately $100 million to improve services and alleviate nurses' workload. Additionally, escalating workplace violence and inadequate nurse-to-patient ratios are key concerns. While the vote grants the union the ability to take job action with 72 hours' notice, Gear emphasized the desire for a resolution, noting that a dispute during the World Cup, when the whole world is watching, is undesirable. BC's Health Minister Josie Osborne acknowledged the vote as a step in the bargaining process and assured that essential services plans are in place, while the Conservative Party criticized the government for the staffing crisis. Radio Canada International reports that Instructure, the parent company of the widely used Canvas learning management platform, has reached an agreement with the Shiny Hunters hacking group following a massive cyber breach that impacted universities worldwide, including top Canadian institutions. As part of the deal, the compromised data, which reportedly included personal information of 275 million people, was returned. Instructure stated it also received digital verification via shred logs that the data was destroyed and an assurance that no individual customers would be extorted. The company did not disclose whether payment was involved. Cybersecurity experts like Luke Connolly from Emsisoft and David Shipley from Beauceron Security generally discourage paying ransoms, warning it encourages further criminal activity. Instructure acknowledged the unsettling situation but emphasized its commitment to protecting users and providing peace of mind. Forensic analysis of the breach is ongoing. The Canadian federal government has announced the extension of contracts for approximately 750 term workers at its pay center. This measure, reported by the Canadian Press, is being implemented to effectively manage the significant increase in workload anticipated from widespread job cuts within the public service. According to Nicole Allen, a spokesperson for Public Services and Procurement Canada, the primary focus is on streamlining the administrative process and paperwork for federal employees who are either losing their positions or voluntarily leaving through an early retirement program. The government is committed to reducing approximately 40,000 public service jobs from its 2023-24 peak of 368,000 as part of a broader effort to achieve cost savings. The contract extensions for these pay center workers are set to continue until December 2026, ensuring that the system can handle the surge in termination-related transactions. North American markets experienced a mixed day on Tuesday, according to the Canadian press. The S&P/TSX Composite Index saw a notable rise, driven by strong performance in energy stocks, as global oil prices climbed. In contrast, U.S. markets displayed a mixed picture after new inflation data was released. The U.S. Labor Department reported a 3.8% increase in its Consumer Price Index from April 2025, the largest jump in 3 years, largely fueled by a significant rise in gasoline prices due to the 10-week war with Iran. This inflation concern prompted investors to rotate away from the technology sector, with the Nasdaq Composite experiencing a significant decline, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average posted a modest gain. Major chip companies and AI-related stocks faced sharp drops. Rising oil prices, with Brent crude settling at D177 Technis 7 per barrel, further influenced market dynamics. The Canadian dollar weakened slightly against the US dollar, and the June gold contract fell. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.